All right, so there we go. We are live and recording, so let's jump into things. First off, again, Happy New Year to everybody. And I do want to touch upon one of the announcements through the Preon server, in case people didn't take a look at that with respect to Star and the DPEG. So basically, with the Phoenix Star USDB liquidity pool, a large sell order had caused a temporary depeg, and that had led to a lot of arbitrage opportunities, and users began moving liquidity to and from base, and specifically from base, and that depleted the AMO. And because of that, there were further arbitrage opportunities, and that exacerbated the depeg. So from this, obviously not good that there was a depeg, but it was able to restabilize rather quickly. Remember that all star is always over collateralized at all times. So even if a depeg occurs, it does produce arbitrage opportunities. And in many ways, that's an example of how users can benefit from depegs in the future by actually buying discounted star to repay loans or open new positions during an overpeg. So our primary observation through that was that the AMO actually performed as expected, as anticipated, which is actually good and reassuring to see in that live market scenario. Obviously, it was a stressful time, I'm sure, for many, but again, please be aware that the star is always backed by at least 100% of assets for every star in circulation, as it is an over collateralized stablecoin. So it is what it is, but again, it really did highlight that the AMO worked as intended. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit further into that as well, because the challenge with the Star USDC pool really boils down to the profitability of bribing. The market has not been very suitable for incentives lately, especially for stablecoins. And Aerodrome's guidelines are can make it challenging and unprofitable for stablecoins to incentivize sustainably. So those are the challenges we face with respect to the Star USDC CLP. We can direct and have directed the project's votes for the LP, but even so, it does minimize our options, and that pushes us to look into other avenues of incentivizing Star. For example, continuing developing Star liquidity and incentives like on Thruster and Hyperlock, as well as Phoenix. So that's kind of the state of where things are with that, and we'll keep you updated as things go forward with respect to Aerodrome. So that was kind of the major, big event since we last had a chance to talk. So let me just take a pause there, see if anyone has any questions in AMA chat about that, and then we do have some AMA questions that people had jotted down that we can dive into as well. All right. Well, without further ado, let's press forward. So in the AMA questions, and I see we have another coming in as well. We'll get to you. Thank you. Jay said, wow, it's been like 2 years. Didn't know this project is still alive. I have like 5K Sphere. Is it worth anything now? And we were able to have the bot respond to that. But yes, the project is indeed still alive and working on positioning itself as strategically as possible for the alt season. We are working on developing Preon V2 to provide unique features and offer unique options for users. So one such point is allowing CL positions as collateral in specific ways that have not been done before, which would give Preon a market advantage. And at the end of the day, what is good for Prion is good for the ecosystem, which would then lead back to Sphere. All right. The next set of questions are from Human from Pluto, and really appreciate you going through having all these different questions, and at the end saying Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to you as well. Let's dive into your questions. So are there going to be any incentives to hold Sphere beyond the yield of YL Sphere planned for future updates releases, yes or no? If yes, can we get a brief overview of the plan? So the changes to Sphere's tokenomics are still in development, so there is not much that I can discuss regarding an overview of the plan. Once the plan has been fully developed, of course, we will be certain to announce it. But as it stands, the more developed the ecosystem, the more yield goes through to YL Sphere. Next question. In as few words as possible, what is the objective of the project? Preferable from the point of view of the entire project, accomplishing its current goals and objectives, not the current state of the project. Right. So the objective of the project is to create a cohesive and synergistic ecosystem that provides valuable and unique DeFi tools while also maximizing yield. So an example of that synergy is using Dyson as a yield maximizer to yield farm collateral in Prion. And another example is potentially using Dyson Vault tokens as collateral in Prion. So either way, you yield and value is maximized through the other. So that is the overall objective of the project. And the, I guess, challenge has been making the decision to build these things ourselves, because that takes a lot of time and commitment. But it, at the end of the day, allows us to create things that work together better and in a more sustainable way. So yes, I hope that answers your question with respect to the objective of the project. All right, how will new holders buying Sphere tokens benefit from the long-term health of the project? Pretty straightforward. As this ecosystem grows, more yield will be able to be funneled to YL Sphere, and with increasing yield and assuming a stable price of the Sphere token, the VAPR of YL Sphere will increase. And this can benefit all holders, both old and new. I like this question. How excited is the team about upcoming releases? No need to share alpha, but could you gauge the team's excitement on a scale of 1 to 10? I would say 10 out of 10 for sure in terms of Prion's development, especially. As I alluded to earlier, there are new and unique tools Prion is looking to offer to the DeFi space that have not been done before, and we are excited to see how the DeFi community reacts. Does the team have any major concerns about potential hurdles? Yes or no? If yes, can you share more? So there are always hurdles in the DeFi space, and quite frankly, the past few years in DeFi have been nothing but hurdles. So, and those hurdles continue, as we talked about earlier with the incentivization of Star and Airdrome. So if anything, we are pretty confident in our ability to overcome hurdles, as we have some great practice in doing so, unfortunately. We're always going to face, challenges and hurdles no matter what. And essentially what's important is how we pivot to overcome them. Partners, yes, in the sense of finding stable partners who are able to build sustainably. All right. Next question and last question from Human from Pluto. Can you go into more detail on how Sphere plans to use governance tokens? So wasn't too sure on what more you meant by this. It's because it's fairly straightforward. right? Because governance tokens allow the project to have greater influence over other projects, and that can allow for greater incentivization of liquidity, as well as other perks, including yield generation, right? Whatever benefits those governance tokens hold, then is passed to the project and to the community. So I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something to that question. Please feel free to extrapolate, either now or for next time. I'd be more than happy to dig more into that. But yeah, I just feel like I'm missing kind of part of the point on that. So, all right. Believe it or not, that is it. That is it for this AMA. I really didn't have too much. Things have been relatively quiet on the whole, minus what we discussed with Star and Aerodrome. So yeah, things continue to move forward with Prion V2 and development. Tagging on with Gabriel, any updates on Prion V2? Nothing particular that I can say outside of continues to progress, continues to go through development and testing. I can't say too much beyond that at this time, unfortunately. How confident are you on fulfilling the prophecy of 5 cents by June? Oh, Sinner, I can't talk about price predictions, despite my name. I just joined. I heard testing can't say more. I mean, yeah, if you take that small snippet. Just talking about Prion V2. No, Prion V2, Yo Mama. Someone had asked in the AMA questions if there were any updates, and I don't have any particular updates that I can provide outside of the general types of updates. I saw Sinner typing there, so we might get another question, but um, yeah, this may be a pretty short and concise AMA, which I know some people will be happy about. Nice one. But yeah, let me know any other questions. Outside of that, as you know, you can always drop questions in the AMA questions for next time. You can also go into the Sphere chat, Sphere analysis chat, and we are also active on the Prion Discord as well. So be sure to head on over there, take a look through things. Quite often there are conversations with Pandu, Rux, and Sim, sometimes dropping alpha. I tried to go through, I do try to include those discussions in the AMAs when I can, but sometimes there's things I may miss. So just be sure to be on the lookout in that chat, and we'll go from there. So yeah, with the AMO Yamama, basically, the challenge is with the profitability of incentives for Aerodrome. So Aerodrome's guidelines are making it difficult and unprofitable, frankly, for stablecoins to incentivize sustainably. So we can direct projects the votes towards the LP, but outside of that, it's difficult to rationalize putting bribes towards that vault because it's not a profitable venture at this point in time. So that's the current state of that LP. And as I mentioned earlier, in the meantime, we are continuing to work on other avenues of incentivizing star liquidity. For example, Phoenix Thruster Hyperlock, and I see Rux chiming in here as well. That's a good way of putting it. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's good to emphasize, Rux, is um, every week, every week is different. So we have to go on a week by week basis. And recently, it has not been sustainable to incentivize that LP, to bribe that, or offer incentives for voting on that LP on Aerodrome. So it just goes on a week by week basis. But like Rux had mentioned, we're looking on other ways of utilizing the AMO to help the liquidity of Star. And Synod is definitely Thune with the TH. There is no other Thune. All right, good, good. Okay. Questions from anyone else? Thoughts, concerns, jokes for the new year? Outside of that, again, if you do have further questions, you can drop it in the chats. Um, remember also that we're coming up on the change of an epoch, so if you have any biosphere that is locked, please be sure to check to make sure if you either need to withdraw or relock it. Please be sure to utilize any VE governance tokens to your advantage. And I think we will more or less close out there. And plan to talk with you all again in a couple weeks here. You are all very welcome. Happy New Year once again. Always remember that you matter for who you are. And we'll see you all next time. Where can you get Prion tokens? There is liquidity on the Blast chain with Phoenix and Thruster. Gabriel, you should join the Prion server. You can we can get that to you in the Sphere chat, and from there we can help give you some guidance as well. All right, but we'll close off the AMA here, so as to not keep things going further. So, thanks you guys. Take care. I will see you next time. Bye bye.